Why the Falcons should stick with Kirk Cousins over Michael Penix Jr. And today's conversation is going to be a lot of me gloating about what I said about the Falcons in the preseason and how stuck the Falcons are. What a train wreck. The Saints are not fun to watch. The Saints are not enjoyable to think about as far as the future. But man, at least we're not the Atlanta Falcons. Wow, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. They went all in. They flopped 15. Doesn't matter. Dealers got 21. Get your ass off the table and go play video poker. Yucks. Let's go ahead and listen to Rich Eisen. We'll react along the way.
The Kirk Cousins conversation, the minute he leaves Minnesota to go to Atlanta, and then Atlanta gets popped for tampering, and then that's followed up by the drafting of Michael Penix Jr. in the top 10 of the draft.
Disaster. I mean, you talk about a disaster class. The Falcons, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. They have Arthur Smith. I mean, let's really back this up. They have Arthur Smith, play calling, nightmare, all this other stuff they got a big problem with, right? Desmond Ridder sucks. Okay. Well, we'll replace Arthur Smith with Raheem Morris. Well, that doesn't... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. I thought we said the play calling sucks. And all right, whatever. We'll move on from that. Desmond Ridder sucks. All right. We'll get you Kirk Cousins. Well, wait a minute. Kirk Cousins sucks. No. He's fine. Well, he's off. He tore his Achilles. He's not fine. He's barely can move. No. Don't worry about it. We're going to give him $175 million. Here's the deal. We're all in. We've got Bijan Robinson. We've got Drake London. We've got Darnell Mooney. Wait, did you say Darnell Mooney? Yeah, don't worry about it. We got Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts sucks. No. He's got a ton of potential. No. We're all in. We're going to win the NFC. Trust me. Okay, well, we have the 8th overall pick, so let's shore up like our defensive line, or let's shore up something. I mean, our defense was pretty bad last year. If we have Raheem Morris, like at least get a defensive guy. Well, actually, we're going to take a backup quarterback. Okay, well, hold on a second. Wait, why would you do that? Well, we're going to take a backup quarterback because Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles. So, okay, well, here's the deal. Kirk Cousins has to play. We gave him $200 million. So at least make it a backup quarterback who's young, who needs time to develop. Now, actually, we're going to take at 8th overall, we're going to take the quarterback who is the oldest in the draft and actually needs the least amount of time to develop. And by the time he actually does play, he'll be 25 years old.
Just set this thing, as you know, on its head. On its head. And we knew Cousins was going to Minnesota. We just didn't know when. We knew that was going to be part of the schedule. Schedule comes out after the draft.
Right. And
then we find out it's week 14, and it was so damn late in the season, it's just like, okay, whatever. And he arrives in Minnesota on a 3-game losing streak.
Brother, you're lucky it's late in the season. Do you remember what it looked like in week 1? We did a whole video on Kirk Cousins couldn't move. They did not call a play action play because he could not move. He took, wasn't it every snap from shotgun? They ran from the pistol. Like he didn't take a snap under center because he couldn't drop back. He could barely even move. Imagine if they played Minnesota week 1. Oh, my God.
And leaves Minnesota on a 4-game losing streak. And in that streak, no touchdowns, 8 interceptions, only the 4th quarterback since 1950 to have that in a 4-game span. Last one to do it was named Brett Favre in 2005. And that's how he leaves with his team, once upon a time, 6-3, having swept the next best team in the division in the Buccaneers. And now the Bucs are 7-6, and the Falcons are out of first place. And that's how he leaves Minnesota. And still, I say there's no way that this is when they pull the trigger on Cousins.
No way. Atlanta has made their bed, and they have to lie in it. Your season is on the line. Like, you have to get things right because you can still win the NFC South. You can still go to the playoffs, whatever. You went all in on Cousins. Turning this over to Penix now in a must-win situation because you're completely you are not yet in the mode where it's like, well, get Penix reps. Well, let's at least see what he can do. Well, let's go ahead and plan for the future. You're not in that spot yet. You're in, okay, let's bail out the boat. Let's quit the sinking. We got to kind of right the ship here, and we got to win games to win the NFC South. If that is the line of thinking, which it certainly should be, then that's the whole reason you went and got a $175 million veteran quarterback. If your $175 million veteran quarterback can't bail you out of that situation, why the hell did you go get him? Okay, I just gave myself goosebumps. I'm on fire. All right, so you don't turn to Penix here. The only way you turn to Penix is if Tampa clinches the division, nothing really to do. Let's play Penix last couple of games, whatever. And then at that point, you talk about $175 million up the river. Oh my God, because you're not going back to Cousins. You're not playing him next year. If you bench his ass and start Penix, you think you're going to bench Penix and then play Cousins and shelve your 26-year-old at that point year-old quarterback?
And that is wild because this is exactly the scenario on draft night and after draft night that was painted. This is exactly how Cousins can get pulled for Penix, is a stretch just like this. But you look at some of the picks. Kurt Warner went on game day morning and showed 3 of the 4 picks against the Chargers were not on him. And I swear to you, the pick 6 was not on him. I know you can't believe it. I said it in Overreaction Monday, the pod. It is the truth. Take a look at what Kurt had to say. And Kurt knows, obviously.
But
to say watch. Right now, with 2 winnable games at Vegas against the guy they excommunicated and brought in Cousins to turn the page from, and drafted Penix because they're like...
Yeah, I mean, like, you look at the schedule, the Raiders, the Giants, the Panthers, all obviously winnable. If Kirk Cousins can't figure it out there, I mean, what are you going to do? Now, you could argue, well, it's the softest possible schedule for Penix. But again, like you paid Cousins to win these games. If he can't win these games to win you the division, then I mean it's even worse than I thought.
We need to make sure we're not stuck with Desmond Ritters of the world anymore. It's Desmond Ritter they're going to face next in Vegas against a Raiders team that is done. And then they're home for the Giants. They have winnable games. And then they visit Kirk Cousins' other place of employment. They're not pulling the plug and going with the rookie now. They're just not.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the Penix conversation it's not time. It makes no sense. Why would you do it here? I don't think there's even a beyond an injury. No chance. But what I hope this has done is I hope this is the final straw for this just ridiculous glazing of the Atlanta Falcons pieces. I think we can, on draft night, I said, I don't think Bijan Robinson is the best running back in this class. And it is basically a fact. If you would go back in a redraft and take Bijan Robinson over Jahmyr Gibbs, go load up Minecraft and do something else. You shouldn't be watching the NFL. All right? Bijan Robinson is a fine running back. He ain't Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not Ricky Williams. All right? He's not Barry Sanders. He's not this next generational thing. Okay? Kyle Pitts, are you kidding me? Can we officially, finally be done with the Kyle Pitts stuff? Can we be finito with that? Before the season, I said, I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have Jake Ferguson. I might have been too high. I might have been too damn high. Jake Ferguson, Kyle Pitts he's not even close to Jake Ferguson. He's not even Will Dissly. Can we finally go ahead and say, like, okay, Kyle Pitts is a bust? All right. Okay, you got me. Kyle Pitts is a bust. I mean, right now, I think I have let's see. Right now, he's 87th in receptions, 57th in yards, tied for 63rd in touchdowns. I mean, let's look at the game log of Kyle Pitts with Kirk Cousins, who's going to completely resuscitate his career. I mean, sweet. Cool. Looks good to me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking nah. I'm thinking nah on Kyle Pitts. Can we finally say, like, all right, Drake London's not a top 10 wide receiver? And at the beginning of the year, when I kept hearing that Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore were going to light the world on fire, what a joke. And now, and Kirk Cousins stuff preseason, yeah, turns out tearing your Achilles, big deal. Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, ball them up together, and you get a pretty mediocre quarterback. So all that Falcons 13 wins, 12 wins, 1 seed, one thing I'm glad is that we're done with that. I'm glad that we're done with that kind of glazing. I do feel bad for the Falcons. Completely have whiffed on a multitude of first-round picks. We'll see what happens with Penix next year. I would assume the earliest you're going to see Penix is if the Falcons lose to the Raiders or the Giants and the Carolina game is meaningless. Like maybe there, if the Carolina game is meaningless, maybe there you play Penix, see what you got going into next season. But it looks like no matter what, Kirk Cousins is a 1-year, $175 million rental. Nice.
Next year might be a different story, depending on how the next 4 games go. Catch the Rich Eisen Show.
All right. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Would you switch to Penix, or is it way too late? What do you think about all of this down there in Atlanta? Ugly stuff. 17-6, 13-21. Lord have mercy. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Brutal, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I will see you in the next video.